In Algebra 1, section 4.5, we're dealing with slope of a line. This is a very powerful equation. You're going to be needing it throughout the rest of your education when it comes to math. SAT is going to assume you know it, so I want you to make sure to memorize this equation. It's the slope of a line is vertical rise over vertical run. Basically, it means how much something goes over and how much something goes up. It's a movement. Okay, so every time you see a line, there's a certain pattern that gets you the graph of your line, and the slope tells us this pattern. It gives us the direction that we need to go. Okay, so the slope helps us if we just, because remember how you need 2 points in order to make a line. Well, the slope will help us know if we only have 1 point, then the slope will give us the direction we need to find the next points. Okay, or even the next few points, whatever it may be, it's the pattern it tells us. The equation is this, and basically all I need to do is take the points, okay, and I'm going to go, and they want us to find the slope. You're not going to need to graph it, but I want to show you what slopes look like. So in the example, they're not going to ask you to graph it, so don't worry about graphing it, but I want you to physically see the importance of slope. So here's my equation. This is my first point, so let's call it x1, y1, and here's my second point, x2, y2. Okay? I keep the 1's in one point and the 2 for another. This tells me that this belongs on the same line. So my x1, y1 is -2 up 1. Okay? My next one is 1 down 3. So here's my line. Okay? What it's asking me is how many is this going over and how many is it going up. And if I can do it, then I can apply it to the next one and find my next points for each one. Okay? So, it's very easy for us to remember that in an coordinate, in an ordered pair, the x goes first and then the y. But in slope, the y is on top. Okay, how much it moves left, up and down versus how much it moves left and right. So remember that y is always on top. Okay, and all I have to do, I know it's tempting not to skip a step, but it's very important that before you plug it in, you label which one's your x1, y1, and which one's your x2, y2. Okay, so go ahead and label, make sure to always label them, even if they don't ask you to graph. So then we're just going to plug it into this equation right here. M equals y2, which is -3, minus y1, which is 1, over x2, which is 1, minus x1, which is minus -2. Okay, the biggest mistake, especially for those of you guys who make small mistakes, the biggest mistake people do is just to see, oh, I can do it, it's okay. But believe me, it gets confusing really fast, especially if you have a lot of negatives. So please, don't skip this step. Label x1, y1, x2, y2 to minimize little problems. Okay? So what we do here is -1 minus 1, which gives me a -4. And then remember, we have two negatives together, so that gives me a 1 plus 2. So then I have -4 over 3. I can't reduce it. It doesn't become a whole number. So my slope is -4, 3. What this tells me is to get from one point into another, I go back 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? So, sorry. From this point, from point 1, which is -2, 1, I'm going to go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to go over +3. So scratch that again. So this tells me when I'm going to go up or down. So I'm going to go down 4 from here, and then this is going to go left or right. So since the top is negative, so I can apply this to the next one. I'm going to go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 3. 1, 2, 3. This is my next one. I can keep going. So the slope tells me how do I get from one point to another. Okay, it's the direction. So go ahead and try page 233, number 10. 233, number 10. Don't forget y2 minus y's are on top, and don't forget to label. And I'll see you in class.